Good afternoon, everyone. It is Thursday, July 31st, 2025, and is the market getting ready for a major rollover here as we have now turned red in the NASDAQ despite mega earnings moves in Microsoft and Meta. We'll have Apple and Amazon after the bell, and we'll get into all that with the levels here. Doing the video a little early before earnings because we'll be doing a live stream with members after the close. But nonetheless, we'll get you the info out right now. And a lot of this is noise. As we know, Apple could change everything, as well as Amazon. But first, before we get into it, if you give the video a thumbs up, helps out the channel. I appreciate it if you like the content. We give out a lot of free stuff on here. Also consider finding me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts analysis and live day trading. Another nice day in the books in the trading room as well. Traded copper again. Third time here. It took all day, but it is getting up there and starting to get towards target. I think this can get back up to possibly 450, maybe even in the overnight. And we did trade ES a few times here and maneuvered around that pretty nicely as well. You can see here, and I've been tweeting about it today, but 63.50 has been a big level for bulls to hold, and so far they are. If we take a look here, we'll just refresh. Yeah, that might be it. Now, I will say here, we got 20, it probably would have started by now, but we do have some time left, and there could be some end of month markup. If I take a look here, I'll just bring this back up. Let's look at SPY. Yeah, 635, it's going to be hard to get through that. That's why we're backing off right now. But if we were to get through that, if we flip SPY back over, you can see it right there. If we were to get through that, we would probably pump like all the way back up to 638. Which would be 6,400. Now, why do I say that? Because we got end of month here. And, it's just, this is what happens. A lot of the time, I've seen this happen so many times where we sell off into 2 o'clock end of month, and then they just rip it right back up with all the markup. Everybody buying Microsoft and Meta and all these names. By the way, Meta's held up really well today. It's held a lot of those gains. I mean, granted, it's got a nasty gap here, but it's held up. It hasn't backed off. Microsoft, we've definitely seen profit taking though. And I'm definitely seeing, I'll give the bears this right now. I'm definitely seeing profit taking in semis. We knew Broadcom was going to go to 300. We talked about that. Good reversal. And for the first time in a while, again, it's only 320. But you do have some volume. It's not crazy. It'll be heavy. It should be close. We got to 80 million yesterday with including after hours. We're at 68 million, so we'll get to 80 million. But it's not like, it's not heavy. It's not as heavy as I'd like it to be, but it's definitely picking up, and it's getting that kind of rolling top type vibe. We talked about this a few weeks ago as well, like SMH here. We saw some signs of distribution intraday, right? And yes, it's making new highs, but it's not doing it by a lot. And the sell days are getting some wide ranges here. The buy days are tighter ranges. So definitely some profit taking. So I definitely would say just be careful up here. That said, again, trend is still up. There's no real sell signal right now. And so far, all we've done, again, barring the last hour here, is we just back tested, right? I mean, I talked about this yesterday. We just back tested twice. And I mean, there's still like a ton of room here. I mean, like we haven't, I mean, I think people have forgotten what like a pullback looks like because it's just been so long, but we have not closed below the 20 moving average since April 23rd. Like we could get a close below that and just chop around and then go back up. I mean, that's totally a possibility. So I just want to make that clear. We also are going to be entering a period of vol suppression and starting next Monday. So there's that as well. So bears kind of have like one last kind of window here tomorrow to do stuff. Is that on non-farm payroll? Possibly, but I think Powell already knew what he was going to say. I think Powell was already briefed on the data. He usually seems to be. So if there's economic data being released that week, I'm sure he's getting a look at that before he makes his decision. We had PCE this morning that didn't move the needle. Neither did jobless claims. They both came in. Jobless claims were right in line, and PC was a little warmer than expected, which, again, Powell hinted at yesterday. So, again, not enough to move the needle. We'll see what non-farm payroll does tomorrow. But yeah, ES backing off a little bit here. Yeah, we'll see if we just pin to 63.50 right now. And again, you can see that level right now sitting right there. If that breaks, then that does open the door for 6,300 possibly tomorrow. So we definitely are seeing some distribution. But again, I mean, you know, I get like even in the trading room this morning, everybody was like, not everybody, but it's like a lot of, oh my God, are we gonna go down here? And I was like, well, we just got back to here, so you know this, you know, we got into this level, and you know, all it did effectively was back test this, right? And you know, at that time it was just a 618, right? So that was actually a good dip buy for us this morning. I mean, it just feels like everybody's so scared of a crash right now. And I think that's what's going to keep this market afloat here. That doesn't mean we can't have a pullback. You know, some of these stocks like Meta and like Microsoft, Nvidia, these are just ridiculously, stupidly overdone. So like we will get a pullback at some point, but I think this crash mentality is going to keep us. And again, the fact that we just had a 25% crash earlier this year is going to keep the market well hedged, even if we do start pulling back. So that's kind of where I'm at right now for the Qs. Again, definitely, you know, a little uptick in volume here, and definitely a good gap and crap. You can see NQ, not the prettiest candle on the day, but not the worst, right? You know, we'll see if it holds the low. I think it will. Right, 565 right now. That should be about it for the downside right now. Maybe it closes below it, but then again, I mean, what if Tim cooks after hours, right? And we go back up to 570? Would anybody be surprised by that? So we'll see what happens. It could go the other way too. What if they both miss? So it's certainly possible. Russell 2000, again, down today. It's off the lows. Like everything else, obviously didn't have didn't have as much of a decline intraday, but that's because it opened lower. Again, weekly chart still no damage here, so we still have an inside bar pattern there, and then the diamond here also kind of dipping like everything else. So didn't quite get to that all-time high. Semis via SMH, again, definitely right, like definitely some volume here, right, on these sell days. Right, you see that, and it's going to increase as we get to the close. So just be aware. You know, we're definitely seeing that in the stocks here, starting to already put in a lower low. Cloud, again, outside move down. So just be careful here. Transport's down 33 basis points, but holding the 50 MA. So we'll leave that alone for the time being. And then interest rates today, kind of a non-factor. They are up a little bit, but let me see. Well, the 2 years up a little bit. So 2-year continuing to inch up, like we talked about yesterday. That's not good for the rate cut narrative. 30s are still pretty steady. XHB down 92 cents, nothing horrible. IYR down as well. So this is going to need to get saved tomorrow, otherwise that's a failed breakout. So we're definitely seeing, and by the way, we are definitely seeing, if we look at the McClellan here, making new advances here with declining breadth. Again, so definitely some distribution signs right now. XLF down 15 cents, KRE down 56 cents, but again, holding those moving averages, and broker dealers down here as well. Oil flat to negative. Actually, that was down 90 cents. I think I talked about this level a while back on oil. Let me use a 4-hour. Yeah, so it might have been, yeah, there's a 50% fib, and then you got this 618 up at like 71.50. So we'll watch those. XLE down, but not terrible. Starting to put in a little bit of a kind of triangular pattern. That was sloppy. It's kind of like putting in a triangular pattern here. So, and here's the thing too. I know everybody hates XLE, even me, but a lot of the time when tech tops out, this will finally catch a bid. So we'll see if that ends up being the case there over the next couple of days to weeks. Dollar index hit our 100 short-term target, and Yeah, it can still go higher. So it's got to get through that 100 MA though. Gold got a relief bounce today, but it was a little soft. Again, I don't like gold and silver right here. Maybe silver should get a bounce here off the 50 MA, which it's trying to do right now. But for the next month or so, I don't like how it's hedged. September, that does start to change a little bit. Platinum backing off into the 50 MA, and then palladium here. Trying to hold that 1200 handle, that pivot there. I get a lot of questions about these. I don't really, I wish I had more alpha on them, but they don't have as much speculative power as gold and silver. So it's harder to tell. It's harder to chart them. I mean, I can tell you where the level is, but it doesn't mean it's going to hold. So, and the same thing with nat gas is why I don't really cover it that much anymore. But, it held 3 today. Made a low run on the inventory number. That's classic. Copper got a bounce like I thought it would. Didn't bounce as high. I mean, I was looking for I think I said 480 yesterday. It can still go there. And I'll put these lines back on here. It's still got it had the nice little kind of higher lows set up here. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. I got in this morning. It was all around, didn't do anything. And then it finally broke out an hour ago. Got some, a little bit of a level there at 445 and then 450, 460. And then 480 is the daily 200, I think. What am I trying to do here? Trying to get the moving average. There you go. Yeah, 475. So Bitcoin held up. It did back off the highs like everything, but it wasn't as bad as stocks were. It's down right now, but it's not nearly as bad. We do have MSTR Coin and Riot after the bell too. I think there's one other too, but yeah, we'll see what happens here. So yeah, looks like there's 63.50. So there you go. And we'll see if it closes below. I mean, and if it does, I mean, it's not the end of the world. You would want to see it hold yesterday's low, I would assume. But yeah, there's definitely some distribution here, definitely a slowing down of things. But that doesn't mean it can't hold up a little bit longer. Don't be surprised if they pull some game here, end of month here in the next half hour or two. I would not be shocked at all. And again, Amazon holding up really well today too. So I don't know if that's a head fake. I've seen this happen before where this, stock, look at the volume, stock looks really strong going into earnings and it just gaps down. Or a stock like everyone hates, Apple, it's weak into earnings and it just gaps up. It still has interest up there at 220 and even at 230 for the coming weeks. So it's possible that could surprise. And when it comes to Apple, it's always when in doubt, just do a buyback and then it just goes up, right? So nonetheless here, I think that was still showing you the SPY chart there, but that's all right. Nonetheless, yeah, you can see the put premiums there. So puts definitely at a premium today. They're definitely shorting this move down. But anyway, it's irrelevant. There's the Apple chart. There's the Amazon chart. But anyway, nonetheless, we'll see what happens here with earnings. But yeah, I mean, there's still there's still a lot of support here, at least from an intraday basis at 6,300 and then the 20 MA. And then we enter a period of volatility suppression potentially. So we'll see what happens there. But anyways, I'll wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.